as one forever right now. Come together, come together, come together right now. Right now, right now. Come together, come together right now. Right now, right now. Together right now. Da-da-da-da. Come together. Come together right now. Right now, right now. Come together. Come together right now. Right now, right now. Celebrate, but we have no time to waste. Oh no, if we take our strength and use them as our tools, we'll be together as one. Don't be no fools. Come together, come together right now, right now, right now. Come together, come together right now. Right now, right now. Come together. Come together right now. Come together. Da da da. Come together. Come together right now. Right now, right now. Come together. Come together right now.
Oh, we're live.
Hi, my name is Gudrun from GE Designs. Welcome to our live Jolee Quilt Along. This is part 1. Hi everybody, thank you all so much for being here. We're really excited to have you now for a live quilt along, hanging out all day. Say hello to Mr. HP.
Everybody.
Yes, it is going to be a great day.
Good
great
Saturday
day.
morning.
Yes, great Saturday. So giving some love to ourselves in our quilting areas. So whether you're able to sew with us all day or not, it's all good. If you purchase the pattern, you will have all these videos in your account by the end of the day, everybody. So let's start by just saying welcome, welcome, welcome. Those of you that are happening to watch us and don't know what is going on. We are doing a live quilt along for the Jolee quilt, which is a brand new pattern. And we're going to do it all day. So we're going to be live right now and then again at 12 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. I'm going to give you instructions throughout the day. We're going to have some fun and just enjoy ourselves. Now, if you don't know anything about this, you can find out all about it on our website. The easiest way is to head to our website and click on the blog and read about what this is about. You will find the pattern there you can purchase. It will include all the instruction that you need, and the videos will be added on throughout the day. Of course, you will have a little recipe there, both for some food and some drinks. We're going to have to celebrate at the end of the day, of course. As we do, but on the blog you will also find a link to a Spotify playlist, which Mr. HP has put together. Some great songs, some great sewing music, so we can just kind of swing along and have a good, fun day. So
That's right.
are you guys ready? I am so excited to be doing this live. This is what we used to do throughout the pandemic, bringing all of us quilters together to do what we have so much passion for. So we are thrilled to do it again.
That's right.
Yes, yes,
Do it.
yes. So I want to just start a little bit with what we need as far as tools. I know those of you that have been planning this for a long time already got that video with the cutting instructions and everything, but if you are just joining in, really quickly, let's take a look at my tools I have handy. So we will start, I'm gonna of course start with my Stribology rulers. I have my XL, that's the one I use to cut out all my fabric from my half yards or fat quarters. I have my squared ruler, which is what I use when we move on into the pattern because it's more maneuverable, but I will be showing you both ways. I will also be using the mini, the squared mini, because I love to use that for smaller things. So you will see me using that, but I'll of course show all instruction. I always like to have my ruler stickers handy. The organizing clips and stickers are going to be very handy as well, as we're kind of working on different things throughout the day. And if you have the G-Easy Point trimmers, the 90-degree trimmer is going to be very helpful. Not necessary, but very helpful. And of course, whenever I'm sewing, I always have little snips, little scissors. I love my little Karen K. Buckley small scissors, and some good piecing pins.
They're my favorite too.
Yes, yes, as a long armor, that is your
yeah.
favorite.
Love it.
So I hope you have your pattern handy. Before we kick it off, it's been really exciting for those of you that have been planning this for a while, and you posted your fabrics that you're going to be using today in Gudrun's Quilt Crew. And so that's always so fun to me to see all these quilts, kind of imaginary quilts, and then they come together throughout the day. So I put together a little slideshow with some of your posts of your fabrics, and so these beautiful fabrics will possibly become close to a Jolee quilt by the end of the day. So let's take a look. Well, I think everybody is ready to rock and roll. So we're excited to have you joining us from all over the world in your own sewing areas. But we have some of our partner shops and other quilt shops all over joining us as well, with multiple people in their classrooms making the Jolee quilt. So shout out to all of you that are with us. We will be checking in with some of those as we go throughout the day. Very excited to see that. But I think it's just time to dive in. Now, of course, those of you that purchased the pattern a week ago, I added the cutting video and cutting instructions to your account. So you should see that right away. If you're purchasing the pattern now, it's there already. So what we are working on, we are starting off with our rectangles that I showed you to cut. And so if you don't have that cut, you know how to go back, go into your account, find that video, and I'll show you that instruction. So we are just starting off straight with our rectangles that you cut from your half yards or your fat quarters. So without further ado, let's kick off our first part of the Jolee pattern. Let's go. Now let's get started on our Jolee quilt. Our first step, of course, was to cut all of our rectangles from our fabrics. So the next step is deciding which two colors you want together in a block. So that means that if we do these, if I want to put these two colors together, I will have one block where there is the brown square on this rectangle and then vice versa. So what you want to make sure is that you have some contrast. I'll show you here as an example. I have these two. So one will be the dark with a light and vice versa. So you want some contrast between the two, and if you want to, you can take some time to pair them up. If you only have, if you're using a bundle like with 12 different fabrics, you don't necessarily always have to pair up the same two. You could switch that up between the blocks. But take some time to pick. So even though I have a lot of browns, I will make sure that I have at least a value difference, so they're going to really show up on no matter what it's paired with. So start by doing that. Now I'm going to show you how to make these cuts, starting with step 1 in the pattern. Make sure you have your pattern handy, downloadable from our website from your account. So I'm going to just layer these two, and this is very important. Right side up. So if you have any directional fabrics, hopefully the direction is this way, so it really doesn't matter which way you cut it, because when we start laying out the blocks in the end, these are always going to be, are going to be able to turn them the right side up if you prefer it that way. So what we're going to be doing is using the 45-degree diagonal line on our ruler. So I want to approximately lay my fabric pieces here that are aligned at that same angle. So what we're going to do here is just lay this ruler. I'm using the black line, which means I'm going to align that with the edge of the fabric here. I'm just going to scooch this up so that we can see this better. So as you can see, I have the dark black diagonal line, dotted line, aligned with the edge of the fabric here. And I'm going to grab me some stickers. What you want to do with a corner here, we want to slide this down, so moving the ruler diagonally so this line is still aligned with the edge here, until that point of the block is aligned with a 0 slit. So still on that black diagonal line, but the point is right on the 0 slit. And that's where I want to put, I'm putting this purple arrow, just like we have in the pattern, right here, pointing at that corner. So it really should be on the 1/2 inch slit and then 1/2 inch line where that intersection is. And now we have our piece aligned perfectly. We're going to make 2 cuts through the 0 slit and the 3.5. So I am going to be putting pink arrows right here. Just scoot this up so you can see it. On the 0 and the 3.5. And now I'm ready to make those 2 cuts. like this. So we have these units already. And remember, we have this layered 2 layers. If you are more confident as you go, keep going, you can always layer more layers depending on your cutter. I would say 4 layers with your 45mm cutter. If you have a 60, you can do 8 layers at a time. But before we move off of this piece, if you do have the point trimmer, the G-Easy point trimmers, grab your 90-degree trimmer, and we are going to be trimming off the corners of the 2 outer pieces. So just like it's shown in the pattern, we want to align the long side of the trimmer with the long side of this triangle, scooting it down until both edges are aligned with the edge of the fabric. And then we have this little tip that we're going to trim off here. And we're going to do the same, turn it so that the long edge is along the cut edge. So just think about it that way, the long edge of the trimmer along the side that was just cut. So aligning this down here and then trimming that little point off. And so we have a flat tip on each side here. So we are going to set this aside, and then we have to cut that middle piece. But before I do, I want to show you, if you're using the XL ruler or if you're using regular rulers, how to make this first cut. So I'm just going to set these aside and keep them together and show you with another piece of fabric. So the XL ruler is going to be pretty much identical to what we did with the squared. So layering my 2 fabrics, because the lines on the XL and squared are very similar. So we are going to be using that 45-degree line. It's not a dotted line, it's a solid line on the XL ruler. So lining that up here with the edge of the fabric first. So that's what we want to do first. Then I'm going to slide it so that it's going to land on that 1/2-inch slit and 1/2-inch line. So the point of the rectangle is going to be right there. And I'm just going to grab my red sticker that I just used earlier, place that right here. And then we're going to make our cuts exactly the same through the 0 and the 3.5. And we get the exact same result, and we can go ahead and do the trimmer on both sides. It's really going to help when we start positioning our pieces. Turn it long side along the cut edge, remember, and make our cut, and there we go. So one more demo. I'm going to show you, if you don't have a stripology ruler, what you can do with regular rulers. So here I have an 8.5 by 24.5 inch Credit Grids ruler. You can use any long ruler. I'm actually going to use a combination of this one, and then I have a smaller version of 4.5 by 12. So I am going to be using this, looking at the 45-degree lines. I have 3 45-degree lines on this ruler. I do have 45-degree lines on this one as well. But what we're going to do, I'm going to do with the big ruler here, showing you, is that I want to align the short side of the rectangle with that 45-degree line. And so now that I have this aligned, I just want to slide the ruler sideways. So if you want to, you could definitely use the smaller ruler for this. So I have them going both ways, so I can slide this over about, I have it aligned here, and this seems like it's almost in the perfect spot. But what I want to make sure is that where I'm going to be making the cut, that I'm a 1/2 inch from the tip. So I'm going to bring that other ruler over, and since I have that 1/2 inch line here, I want to make sure that I scoot this over far enough so that the 1/2 inch line is aligned with the tip of the rectangle, but still maintaining this 45-degree line here on this angle. So once I have this aligned, I'm good. I can just either move, if I'm right-handed, I would move this one over and make my cut. If I'm left-handed, you can move this ruler away and make your cut this way. So I'm right-handed, so I'm going to just scooch the big ruler away and make that cut. And now we have a cut edge here. I am going to be cutting a 3.5 inch rectangle, so I will just move my ruler over and put my 3.5 inch line of the ruler on that cut edge. Move this up, and I can make my cut. And we have the same exact units as if you cut these with the Strobology rulers. So we can move on. If you have the point trimmers, you can trim the 2 corners here. If not, I'm going to show you how you can really estimate how these dog ears when we start to piece. But now we're left with our center pieces to cut them. So I'm going to show you a few ways for that. So we're going to turn them exactly like it's shown in the pattern. So we have that little blunt edge here on the right side. So what we want to do here is we want to find the center, but we don't want to find the center between this point and this point. We want to find the center between this corner and this corner. So find that center. So how do we do that? It's a little tricky, and here is where I actually use some assistance of my stickers on my cutting mat. So I'm just going to put an arrow on the cutting mat where I'm going to put this corner on. So, and this is on a line on the mat, as you can see. So it's this line on my mat. So then I can easily take this corner, fold it over to this side, and make my crease. So I know these corners are now aligned and my crease is going to be centered. Now here's my crease, and with that I'm going to be just popping another arrow. So this is really the first way to do this. So then I'm going to pop an arrow right here because that's my center. And so these 2 arrows, you could do this in a different color. But what we want to do, I like to use my mini for this subcut because it just makes it a lot easier. So I am going to, where I put that arrow where my center is, I'm just going to align that with, so the bottom here with the zero line, and then my white center line is going to be lined up with that arrow. So I know I am fully centered. So I am going to be making 2 cuts through the 1.5 and 5. So I'm just going to pop these arrows on my ruler. 1.5 and 5. Where's this? Here we go. And that just going to go right ahead and cut through those 2. And our unit should be like this. You should have a 3.5 inch square, and then this part and this part should be even. So set that aside. If you don't have the mini squared ruler to do this, same thing. I can use my arrows. So I'm going to just place, remember, put this corner on this arrow here as well. For the first time, I always just double check it. I can bring that corner over and fold, and it does hit right here. So if I position my piece with that corner down here, remember the blunt edge on the right side, this is always going to be my center. So using the squared ruler, you would be doing the same thing. So using any horizontal line on the bottom of the unit, and that white center line right on top of the arrow. On the squared ruler, we're going to be cutting through the 4.5 and 8 inch slits. So I can just move these over or do a different color, 4.5 and 8 inch slit. So there it is. And we will get the same result. If you only have the XL ruler, what I wanted to show you is you would be turning, let me move these out of the way. You would be turning your ruler to the 1/2 inch square up side. It's easier because then you have that white center line that you would be lining up with the arrow just like before, and you would just be cutting on the innermost white square says 4.5. So you're just going to hop into the slits right next to it. That's going to give you a 3.5. So I would put my arrows for the XL ruler right there to cut right next to the 4.5 inch mark. So like this, to cut that off. So one more, let me just show you if you only have regular rulers, then how would you cut this piece? Same thing, I have my unit, and you would need to find the center. Again, make that crease in the center. So once you have the center, I'm going to have that on my arrow here. You just want to cut a 1 3/4 inches from on each side of the arrow. So I will just put my 1 3/4 inch line on my ruler. I have that here, 1 3/4 on the arrow, making sure I have a horizontal line aligned on each side. I'm right-handed, so I would line it this way. You would obviously do this reversed if you were left-handed. And then I'm just going to turn this whole piece, and now I can do a 3.5. Align the edges on my 3.5 inch line, make the second cut. I'm going to turn these pieces back. So now you have the same result without the stripology rulers. So continuing on. This first part, I'm going to get you going sewing a little bit. I know the cutting is going to take its time, but I do recommend if you cut your pieces, stay organized, use your organizing clips to stay organized. But what we want to do, I'm going to show you if you want to get a little sewing before the next part, is we'll start with the center pieces. So we're going to just open this up and we are going to switch the centers. So we're going to sew the dark outsides to the light inside and vice versa. Very simple. We flip this on, just sew the long side here and the other side, and then we're going to press, and for this part we're just going to press away from the center for both. So you can go ahead and do that once we have those done. Once I usually have these sewn, I will take the pair, so here they are, should be this way, so pressing away from the center. I will take the pair and make sure that I have the corresponding smaller triangle and the corresponding longer units together, and then you can clip them all to stay organized for the next step. So again, you can cut however many pairs of rectangles down into the units you feel comfortable without getting disorganized. You're going to sew the odd sizes to the center squares, press them, and then I will meet you back for the next step in the Jolee quilt. Now, if you wanted to do the version where you have the same fabric in every single square of the blocks, so that means that you, in the cutting instruction and the cutting video, you would cut some 3.5 inch squares from an accent fabric. You wouldn't be switching the colors like you did here. You would be removing them and just setting these squares aside. They won't be used, and then you would be inserting your accent squares on each side, but still making sure you sew the same fabric on each side of that accent square. Well, yes, this was a lot, I know that, but I try to be thorough and give you all the instructions based on what ruler you have and whether you have a stripology ruler or not. So trying to accommodate everybody. So appreciate all the great comments about the tips. But I mentioned before we showed the video, that we have folks sewing with us in stores across the country and actually the world. So I wanted to do a quick shout out to Danielle and her crew at Warm and Cozy Quilting. They are all ready to go in their classroom. I think they have two areas. They have the classroom is packed, and there's Danielle ready to demonstrate. And I think they have another area full of folks as well. So you have that third photo of them?
I can see third.
Oh, okay. Well, there is a third, so we'll post it up later. But we're going to be checking in with Danielle and everybody on our next segment at 12 noon. But I want to answer some questions, some of your questions. Before I answer some of them, or don't answer, I want to tell you, if you're asking about me repeating anything in the video, this video is now in your account. You can watch it however many times you need between our live segments. So it would be too long for me to address all the things that I talked about in the video. If there is something that I didn't address in the video, please post those questions and I'll try and get to those. All right, so question with 6 half-yard cuts, I can only get 24 rectangles. I actually answered you, Karen, in, I saw your live comment. So what happened there, you must have cut your fabric selvage to selvage into the 6.5 inch strips. Make sure you watch the cutting video already in your account. That was put in your account a week ago. So make sure you check that out because you have to cut them from the opposite side. So that's what happened. Now, can you fix it? Of course. Get some more fabric. Easy. Just add to it. Do you want your A and B combos to be the same for those choices of A and B fabrics? No, so I don't. Some of them happen to become the same because if you're limited on your contrasts, so some of them happen to become the same, but I usually try to mix it up a little bit. So what she means is if I have this fabric and this fabric paired up to go in the block, do I pair them up all the time? Because we have 6 rectangles of each if you're using half yards, or 3 if you're using fat quarters. You don't have to always match up. No, we're not married to that same fabric. You can mix it up. So just do whatever you want. You can't keep it the same. You can mix it up. Whatever you want to do, you make the choice. What if we're using the Strabology XL? I went through all of the cutting with the Strabology XL in the video. So again, just go back to the video. It's already in your account on gequiltscience.com. Log in, go to My Downloadable Files, find the Jolee pattern, and the videos will be posted. Just have to scroll down. And if you're having trouble, just know that on our website, on the front page, way at the bottom, there's a frequently asked questions link with a video on how to find all your files. So just take your time, no stress. I just want to say this. Everybody, we're not going to get our whole quilt done and quilted today. Take your time, work at your own speed, and have some fun, okay?
It's your pace.
It's your pace. This is what I always say in classes. You have to promise me to work at your own speed. Not mine, not anybody else's. Enjoy the journey. You'll have the videos forever. I'm here to help out today as much as I can, but just let's enjoy this.
What if they don't work at my speed either?
You wouldn't get anything done. No, just kidding. Any last questions you have for us?
I'm not seeing it.
Okay, well, this is awesome. So we are.
Let me see. Hold on. This one.
There's a couple. If I cut right in the corner, can I still use the blocks? You can. I would set that aside, make the block, and you can always add that somewhere in the quilt if it didn't turn out exactly right. I think it's totally usable. Yeah. Totally usable.
There you go, right there.
I love it. So yeah, let's get some comments. How are you enjoying it? Was it good? Some extra tips you maybe wouldn't have known. Love that. I saw a lot of comments on the sticker on the mat. I'm telling you, these stickers are game changers. You can use them for so many things and they just really help you out, trying to keep you on track on which slits to cut through and such. But also they can save you so much time, like that sticker on the mat, just going something you're doing repeatedly, it can really save that time. Awesome. Well, we are going to end the live for this first segment. Just a quick reminder again, this video, the instructional part, not the whole live, is now in your account, so you can go back and watch it. Take your time, go through, cut some rectangles. You don't need to stand and cut all of your rectangles now. Just cut a few that you can get going, because the goal is throughout the day, you want to at least have a few blocks done. That's all. That's all. Enjoy the journey. So we will see you back here in about an hour and a half, a little less, at 12 p.m. Central Time. And I can't wait to follow your progress on our Facebook group. If you are on Facebook and are not a part of our Gudrun's Quilt Crew, please join. And please, if you have some time, post your progress. We love to see happy faces and good-looking blocks. So thanks, everybody, for this part. We'll see you again in about 90 minutes or so. Bye.
Step into the groove, it's the place to stay. GE Designs got the stripology way. Quilting with the beat, you feel that heat. We're the rulers of the strips, every inch so neat. Lay your fabric here, lay it right here. Cut it right there, cut it right there. Precision in the rhythm can't help but stare. From morning to night we cut and we care. Every quilt a masterpiece, nothing can compare. Of the stripology, feel that vibe. GE Designs where precision is our vibe. Cut it, slice it, make it so right. Quilters paradise, sewing in the moonlight. Measure once, cut twice. That's the